Chris, he's the SEO expert, basically. Besides, he's the lecturer of university in Strasbourg. When we talked with Chris before the conference, he suggested the topic that would be fully for more like for marketing guys based on SEO, especially international SEO. And I said, Chris, hey, we'll have the marketing guys, we'll have the business development guys, but mostly we'll have team leaders, sales reps, and also the entrepreneurs. Could we combine, could we make the fusion? Because this conference is truly the fusion between sales and marketing. Could we combine both of this topic and Chris say, okay, I got the phenomenal topic. Let's work with the campaign-based content marketing. Let's talk about international SEO, even for the sales teams and how sales teams can benefit from this. So Chris, this is your time to shine. A small hint for our audience that put your questions in Q&A section and Chris will of the his session. All right, so go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thanks so much. Yes, I'll be talking about campaign-based content marketing and SEO. As you see, it's a 45-minute session. I can talk about digital marketing for days and days. Unfortunately, we don't have the time. So I just want to give you a good overview and ideas on how you can tackle this. So you're not going to learn everything there is to know, but at least you know things that you can start to implement, start to research, and hopefully boost your sales numbers down the road. All right, that's me surfing before the coronavirus hit. We went to Costa Rica and Hawaii. So I'm the founder of Boulder SEO Marketing. I teach a master's degree, part of a master's degree for the University of Strasbourg, online. I'm originally from Switzerland. I moved to Colorado in, oh my gosh, long time ago. Love skiing, hiking, biking, really, outdoorsy person. Here in Colorado, where I live, that's easy to do. I love beer. We have great breweries here. I've been in digital marketing for, I would say, nearly 3 decades now. I'm very lucky I get to speak globally about what I'm talking today. And as you can see there at the bottom, I think that was a conference in Europe somewhere. All right. If you want to connect with me, please make sure when you send me a LinkedIn connection request, put a note in there that you heard me talk at this conference. All right. So I'm going to give you some insights on how to turn your local, national, or potentially global website into a sales machine. So earlier in my career, I was in sales. I mean, I've been in sales all my life. If you own a business, you are a salesperson. But early in my career, I was a cold caller. I had to pick up the phone and call people and sell my stuff. I could ask you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love it? Most people don't really love it, right? So I figured out how to turn my website into my sales machine. And that thing is creating leads on a daily basis that convert into customers. So basically, people now find me, and we sort of have a wait list for companies to take on into customers. Simply, we're doing a really good job with what we do. All right, so I hope I can pass on some good tips for you guys, and you're always welcome to reach out, have a chat with me. All right. So how are we going to automate our inbound lead generation, and how we're going to boost sales using tools such as webinars, content marketing, and SEO? Well, we're going to do webinars, right? Here is just a small sample of recent webinars that my team and I hosted. As you can see there, we don't do a lot of promotion. We get anywhere from, I would say, 200 to 600 people signed up, mostly through organic search. Simply because we know what people are looking for, what people are interested in, and then we provide that content in the form of a webinar, as I'm doing here, to people out there. And we can educate them, provide them tips, and reality is that a lot of people, they will not be able to implement the stuff themselves. So this is an amazing lead generation machine. By the way, we use Eventbrite for the registration platform, and I'll tell you more about that in a second on how we use that platform for our SEO efforts as well. All right. And yes, if you have any questions, please plug them into the Q&A or chat, and then we'll get to those at the end of the presentation. All right, so we're going to talk about webinars are an amazing way to showcase your services and or products in a non-salesy way to qualified prospects. All right, I'll share with you the principles and best practices of implementing a campaign-based content marketing and SEO strategy. Then we'll talk about search engine optimization, the importance of source language SEO before you develop a multilingual website. And then one of the most important things as it relates to search engine optimization, you need to know your SEO keywords and you have to perform keyword research in a scientific way. I'll show you how to do that. And then if you are going global, you cannot just translate your keywords. You have to transcreate them. I'll show you exactly how to get that done. And then last but not least, I'll share a few strategies on how to convert webinar attendees to paying customers, right? Because that pays the bills. All right, again, I only have very little time here. We launched a program called the Influential Brand Accelerator, where we teach people, students over, I think it's an 8-week program on how to turn a website into a lead generation and sales machine. So if you're interested, not everybody will qualify, but if you're interested, you can submit, send me your contact information. Let me know if you're interested in learning more about this program. All right, that was my sales pitch. Getting leads is very expensive. Many of you guys are sales folks, right? It is really hard sometimes to get leads. And as you can see here from this study, for these industries, this is the average cost that it costs to produce a lead. All right, and these are the marketing channels. As you can see here, webinars $72 according to this study. Content marketing 92 and SEO 31. Definitely one of the least expensive ways to get a lead if you combine these 3 channels here. Oh, and I didn't, oh, here we go. So webinars in the middle, we're going to use content marketing and SEO best practices to create a lead generation machine. Of course, you also cannot neglect other channels such as influencer marketing, social media, pay-per-click, email marketing. Today, we don't have time to talk about all these other channels. So we're going to focus on content marketing and SEO. All right. According to this study, I just want to highlight the importance why we're going to focus on webinars. The conversion rate is pretty high, and I can attest that. We convert many of our webinar attendees into paying customers. According to this study, BuzzSumo, a very popular website over here in the US, they say that they convert close to 20% of webinar attendees into paid customers. All right. Let's take a look at content marketing. There is no search engine optimization without content marketing. All right. So I want to show you one of our target SEO keywords, and you can do a search on your computer on Google. I'm not sure on the index if it's going to be the same results, but if you do a search for SEO training Denver, so we used to host these in-person classes here in Denver. Of course, the coronavirus shut everything down, so we converted these classes into webinars. And as you can see here, obviously we know what we're doing. So we got 2 pages to rank at the very top of Google here. These are links to the Boulder SEO marketing website. And then this is called off-page optimization. We also know how to optimize off-page entities such as about.me pages, LinkedIn showcase pages, and I mentioned that earlier, Eventbrite pages. Simply, I want to push down as many of my competitors to where people are not going to click on. So this is amazing, but you do have to create content. All right. And then also, we just put up a new webinar about international SEO. And of course, I invite you to search for this keyword and sign up for the webinar. I think we put up this page about maybe a month ago, and we already got 2 of our web pages to rank nearly at the very top, the Boulder SEO marketing website, and then my personal website, chrisraulf.com. That webinar is going to be hosted on September 9th, and I pretty much guarantee you within probably like a week or 2, we will be at the very top, and this is where people click on. And I think this webinar has already, I think we already have like 30, 40 people signed up simply through organic search. It's people I know that are interested in international SEO. So those are going to be amazing leads for us. All right. The best place to hide a dead body, where would that be? Well, my students at the university, they come up with amazing, scary examples, but it's right here, page number 2 of Google. Most people, they will click on the top 3 organic search results. About 75% of all people will click on those 3 top spots, the non-paid spots. This is where you need to be. If you're not there, you're not going to get the clicks, you're not going to get the leads. So this is why SEO is so crucially important in getting people to your website, convert them to leads, ultimately to customers. All right. After you have presented your webinar, what we do, we convert those pages into another lead generation machine. Basically, we optimize those pages for interesting search terms such as Google Ads webinar, because that's what people are interested in, right? So we have now a page that did extremely well in converting people that are interested in this topic in webinar registrants. But now we optimize this page to accommodate people that want to watch a webinar recording. And of course, we give them the opportunity to reach out to us, learn more about our offerings. And if you do a search, maybe even from Russia or Ukraine for Google Ads webinar, this page may show up at the very top. So this is truly a powerful tool to continue to get you leads that you can convert into paying customers. All right. This is the page that I just showed you. As you can see here, this is a screenshot of Google Analytics. This page continues to just generate high quality traffic to our website, and ultimately it converts website visitors to leads and ultimately customers. Proof is in the pudding. So I just want to show you that it's not, it's just the hot air, what I'm talking about here. All right, so hopefully I got you excited about this presentation now. So now I want to talk about some of the principles and best practices of how to implement a campaign-based content marketing and SEO strategy it's actually not that hard. You just have to allocate resources to this project. You need to have time and you need to have the knowledge. All right. First of all, don't guess. Know what's trending. You need to understand what are people searching out there in relation to your business. A great tool, a free tool, is Google Trends. Simply go to do a search for Google Trends and you find this tool. I don't have time to tell you much about this tool, but you can do amazing research with this tool. So for example, we offer international SEO solutions. So I did a search for international SEO because I want to know, is this term trending up or down? You know, where does it trend? This tool will give me related search terms that I can, you know, target, etc. So before you do anything, do your research. Don't just do wishful thinking. You need to know what you're trying to, you know, do a webinar about out there, so that you have a higher chance of getting the most people to your webinar. All right. Then know your target audience. I can't overemphasize that. As part of my teachings for the University of Strasbourg, I make my students do a buyer persona exercise. All right. So you basically want to visualize who is your potential buyer of your product or service. A simple exercise like this will do, where you know, think about what's the demographic information, you know, gender, disposable income, hobbies, etc. This is actually a real example from one of my students. I think she was from New Zealand. Then, you know, what's the job title? What are mannerisms and buzzwords to describe them? You know, what do they value most about your product or service? By filling out even just a simple template like this, you can actually visualize who is the person that is potentially interested in your product or service. And then, only then, you're able to develop meaningful content for your website. You'll be able to optimize that content for the target SEO keywords, and you will be able to connect with that person, who will then hopefully get to your event, your website, turn into a lead and a customer. All right. Then moving on, what is your game plan? I do a lot of business consulting, and I'm truly shocked how unorganized many businesses are. They shoot from the hip. They have no plan on, you know, what they do, how they do things. So whatever you do, you know, come up with a checklist. You will get the link to this webinar creation checklist. I have added it on the right side there. It'll show up in a second. So basically, have a plan, right? Start with, you know, create a webinar schedule. Then it's all about content. Hosting a webinar allows us to create many pieces of content. And this is what supports search engine optimization. All right. So you need a webinar description. You then publish that content on your website, on, again, Eventbrite, a registration platform. Then we always do a press release about our online events. They actually perform really well in online search because it's relevant, fresh, new content, and the search engines like new, updated content. We usually distribute press releases through paid press release distribution services. They usually range from, you know, $80 to about $300-400 per press release. You definitely reach a wider audience by doing so. All right. Then, you know, draft a few blog posts about the webinar. Get people excited. You can use that in your email marketing. Announce the webinar. Then after the webinar, as I showed you before with that Google Ads webinar, update the landing page, convert it into a page that will continue to attract people where they can watch the webinar, or you can make it available for request, get leads this way, but do something with that page, right? Keep the effort going, keep the momentum going. And then, of course, always draft a follow-up blog post where you summarize what you spoke about. So look at that. We have the opportunity to create 4, 5, 6 pieces of content around one online event. Here's the link to this checklist. Make sure don't request access. Simply click on File and then click on Make a Copy. Add this to your Google Drive. You're welcome to use it, change it as you see fit. Take advantage of the time that I put into creating this template. Excuse me. All right. Here are a few examples of content that we created around events. This is, I believe, our next intro to SEO training. Of course, I invite you, join us if you would like to learn more about search engine optimization. So this was supposed to be an in-person class. We simply switched it around, made it an online event. Provide people with as much information as you can about the event. Optimize it for the right target SEO keywords. We're going to get to that in just a second here. So this is one of our webinar registration pages on our website. Then this is a press release that we published about an international, I think an international SEO training or global digital marketing and content marketing webinar. I think I presented that out of here. We also have an office in London. So that was a press release. Then this is a blog post where we, toward the bottom, we include information about our upcoming events. So you don't always have to make it super obvious that it's a blog post about a webinar. You can write about a topic that's related to your webinar, and then maybe in the middle, talk about the webinar and say, hey guys, if you want to learn more, we're hosting this event and here's the link to where you can sign up. All right. So it's all about content. Develop as much meaningful content as possible. And if you're a salesperson and if your marketing department is not doing that, you got to talk to them and say, hey guys, this is what I learned. Can we do that? Because they will be able to provide you with more qualified leads. All right, let's talk about the importance of source language optimization before developing a multilingual website. Again, if you're in sales, if you don't know if your marketing team is doing that, you got to talk to them and say, hey guys, we need to get more people through organic search to our website. All right. So mistakes are very costly. So before you translate or localize your source language website, it has to be properly optimized, right? Because you will potentially replicate the same mistake into multiple languages. That is a very, very costly mistake. So we work with multiple language services company. We're not a translation agency. We know how to do international multilingual SEO, but we team up with experts that know how to translate, localize a website, and then we optimize the content for the right keywords. And I'm going to show you how to do source keyword research and target language keyword research. All right, before I talk about that, let's quickly talk about Google's algorithm. So you're going to get a crash course on how basically SEO works. All right. There are about 250 main ranking signals in Google's algorithm. Yandex is very similar. There are potentially thousands of sub-ranking signals. The better you address all of these ranking signals, the better your website or certain pages will rank in the search engines. All right. You can place all of these ranking signals onto one of these 5 pillars. First of all, there's the technical aspect of SEO. That's the low-hanging fruit optimization. There are tools such as Google Page Speed Insights, where you can check the technical health of your website. We can fix that relatively fast, and a website will rank better just because of that. Then there's on-page SEO that starts with keyword research, how to hyperlink pages on your website, etc. Basically anything that we can do on the website physically. Then we have off-page SEO. I showed you that before, where we optimized about.me pages and LinkedIn showcase pages to push down competition from page number 1. Anything you can do outside of your website. And then we have social media marketing. Love it or hate it, it needs to be part of your SEO strategy, because Google learns about who you are, what you do, how you do things. When you publish a new blog post, you should tweet it or Facebook about it or put it out on LinkedIn. Google will then be able to crawl that page and index it in its database. And then, very important, Google just recently announced that the usability of your website is a very important ranking signal now. And we're actually going to do a webinar tomorrow about conversion rate optimization and how to create well-designed websites. So I invite you, just go to boulderseomarketing.com, scroll all the way down. That's where you're going to find the information. So the usability of your website, very important. And then, as mentioned earlier, there's no SEO without content. So you have to develop content and create a storytelling effort here to get people interested in what you have to offer. All right, that was a quick crash course to how SEO works in general. And then the better you address all of these ranking signals, Google will actually assign you what we call here in the US a credit score, right? The better you pay all your bills, the less expensive it is for you to borrow money from the banks. This is my credit score. I just refinanced my house here because I do have a very high credit score. I got an amazing interest rate, which is going to save me, tens of thousands of dollars over the course of the mortgage. So the better you address all of these ranking signals, the easier it is for you to rank high for the long term. And this is, it's going to make you a lot of money, because once you're at the top of the search engines, you're not going to get pushed down right away. All right. So SEO changes all the time. This is not something that you can do one time. You gotta stick to that. Google updates its algorithm on an average basis about 2-3 times per day. Very small updates, but even the smallest updates can have a huge impact on your website. This is a recent, very important update. Again, maybe check in with your marketing department, make sure they heard about the EAT algorithm update. So basically, Google rewards websites that can showcase expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Expertise you can showcase again through webinars. Basically, showcase that you are an expert in your field. There's no better way than to do this through webinars. All right. Then another recent algorithm update is called BERT. It's basically Google is getting better at processing language. They get better at understanding context. So don't just write for the search engines. Make sure you write actually for people, but you still got to use your target SEO keywords, which we're going to get to next. And then these are Google's webmaster guidelines. So avoid doing tricks or black hat techniques because it will get you in trouble. Don't go for the quick fix. Really put time and effort into this. And then, so basic principles: make pages for users, not for search engines. Don't deceive your users. Avoid tricks. Think about what makes your company stand out there, and then build webinars, educational content around those findings. Do not game the system. This is what happened to this website. It totally destroyed this company. As you can see here, we don't pick up the yellow pages anymore. If you are not being found online, you're not visible. So unfortunately, I think this website, they did something that was against Google's webmaster guidelines, and they got penalized. It totally destroyed this company. This is one of our customers. Their traffic was going down. They came to us, and within about 3 to 4 months, we were able to rectify the situation, and we built a organic machine that now pumps out money for them. So this is the power of organic search engine optimization. This is what you want to see if you invest time and money and resources into organic search engine optimization, content marketing, and webinars. All right, so let's talk about SEO keywords, from source language research to multilingual keyword transcreation. So first of all, don't be deceived by the shiny objects, all right? Google Ads, that's a very broad term, right? I don't want to get people to my website for Google Ads. It's way too broad. I want to get people to my website for Google Ads webinar because it has way higher intent, lot less search volume, it's less competitive, but way higher relevance. So don't be deceived by high search volume. As you can see here, we're looking at Google Keyword Planner, Google Ads Webinar, and Google Ads are the seed keywords that I plugged into here. As you can see here, the average monthly search volume is dramatic, okay? But I do not want to get people to my website necessarily for Google Ads, and it would be impossible to rank at the top because it's way too, Google dominates that space, right? So I want to get these 140 people that are interested in Google Ads webinar to my website because they want to learn how this stuff works, right? And I will be able to convert many of those webinar registrants to paying customers. Simply, Google Ads has become very complex, and we know how to do this stuff, so we can get them the results they need. Based on the seed keywords that you plug into there, Google will also show you related keywords, and those keywords you could implement in your content marketing strategy, build content around those keywords, get them to rank at the top of Google. There are many other tools out there that you can use to do keyword research. Actually recently did a webinar about keyword research. So just shoot me a quick email or connect with me or send me a message via our website. I'll send you the link to the recording, but this is absolutely crucial for the success of your SEO campaign. All right. So in relation to a keyword, again, Google Ads webinar, 140 people are searching for this keyword on a monthly basis. Google will display snippets in their search engine results pages. So basically what I highlighted there in green, that's called a snippet. And I will quickly want to dissect the parts of a snippet. Also, you will actually see how many pages in Google do you have to beat to get to the top. It's not that easy, but it's absolutely doable. All right, let's take a look at a snippet. We're going to talk about meta tags now. This is what you put, the information that you put on each and every page on your website. Again, go to your marketing team and say, hey, have you optimized the meta tags of our website? All right. So Google will usually display a URL. So make sure add the most important keyword in the URL that you create there. Then this is called the title tag. You want to include your most important keyword, Google Ads webinar. And you want to stick to about 50 to 60 characters. And then it's totally fine to put a call to action in the title tag, view recording of PPC online course. People know exactly what to expect. Then this is the description tag. Make sure add another keyword in the description tag, and you want to stick to about 150 to 160 characters. Otherwise, Google may truncate that text in the search engine results pages. All right. This is content that needs to be implemented on the back end of your website. Again, check with your marketing team or webmaster to see if this is actually done correctly. And then here's some tips on how to optimize each and every page on your website. Don't go crazy with hyperlinks, about one hyperlink per 100 words. Don't forget to call to action in the content. Submit to Google's database or Yandex through Search Console, and then promote the content via social media channels, etc. Again, I can talk about this for days. So this is the ultimate crash course on how to optimize a page for search. All right. If you are going global, primarily back in the days, the web was English dominated. Now we have so many other languages that are growing rapidly. So there are amazing markets out there that you can tackle. What I would recommend before you go into multilingual search engine optimization, see if your website is already attracting people from other parts of the world outside of your source market. So with this client here, we saw that they were already selling some products into the UK. So we didn't even have to translate the website. We simply added a section on the website that specifically targeted UK-based customers. And look at that, it's an e-commerce website. They are happily selling products now into the UK. And next we're going to tackle Australia, New Zealand, other English-speaking markets. All right. So if you have to translate your website, you have to transcreate your keywords. Let me show you an example here. So I'm using a machine translation tool called DeepL. The search term smartphone. So I went to this tool and I said, hey, how do people, what term do people use in German for a smartphone? This website is telling me people are also using the term smartphone. In the German language, we use a lot of English words. But then check this out. This tool is also telling me, hey, people may also be using the term handy or mobile telephone. All right. So I went over to Google Keyword Planner and I searched, in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. These are three different German-speaking markets. How do people actually, what do people type into Google to search for smartphone-related search terms? Check this out. Many people are searching for handy and smartphone in Germany. In Switzerland, most people use the term mobile telephone, right? So I would optimize pages that target Switzerland for mobile telephone and then and smartphone. And in Austria, most people actually use the term handy, what describes a smartphone. So even though it's the same language, it's different locales. So you have to be very sensitive on what kind of keywords are you using in your multilingual SEO strategy. And then, of course, again, let's quickly talk about meta tags. In other languages, text will expand or shrink, so you got to pay attention to that. But you absolutely have to transcreate the content for your translated websites. Make sure it is actually properly optimized for the right keywords, for the right language and locale. We often see that multilingual websites, the meta tags are left in English. You're going to confuse the heck out of Google. That page will not rank well. So this is hyper important that you properly transcreate and optimize the meta tags for your multilingual web pages. All right, let's quickly talk about proven and tested strategies to convert webinar attendees to paying customers. By the way, this is not going to happen overnight. What I just showed you, this will take 3, 4, 5 months to get your website to rank at the top for your target SEO keywords, but it is well worth it. So if you get a lot of people signed up to your events, this is an example email that I sent to somebody. It's like, hey, thanks so much for connecting with us in the past. Hey, we're doing another webinar. You can learn more about upcoming webinars. And then I put in, I do a little bit of research about their website, and I noticed that organic traffic is going down for them. So I include a screenshot and say, hey, look, this is what I noticed. We can help you. I educate them about the ranking signals, and the response rate is amazing. All right. So do send out personalized follow-up emails. For really good potential hot prospects, pick up the phone, give them a call, provide proof that they need your help, make sure that they know that you are the expert. You can send them a poll or a survey, keep them engaged, offer a free trial to something that you offer. Give them a time-sensitive offer. Provide additional resources, educational content. We have a lot of guides on our website. And then try to get them hooked on your content and upcoming webinars. Just keep on engaging them. Eventually, if the time is right, they will reach out. We don't do sales. I only like to work with people that reach out to us because it's a way better relationship for a long time. And then you can use retargeting campaigns in Google Ads or custom audience campaigns on Facebook so that they continue to see your content. And that was basically my presentation. I'd love to answer questions. Again, if you're interested in the Influential Brand Accelerator program, reach out, send me a quick email, let me know that you're interested. Connect with me. Please let me know that you attended this webinar if you connect with me on LinkedIn. And hey, that's what I did last weekend with my wife. We hiked a very high mountain here in Colorado, and it was ice cold up there, as you can see. All right. Thank you so much. I am open for questions now, and I think we just finished right on time. All right.
Thank you. Thanks for your speech. As mentioned before, we are connecting the marketing and sales. That's why we asked you to talk more about SEO in terms of sales guys, sales reps can use to drive more revenue. I mean, webinars, because webinars are everywhere today. And guys, if you have any questions, put those questions in Q&A section. I know that this session was more about marketing, but still, the focus here to drive more clients to the webinar and to convert them on the webinar, and with the follow-up chain as well. So if you have any questions, let us know in Q&A block. By the way, Chris, any other piece of advice that you have right now for the sales guys, especially in terms of what to do for this post-COVID world?
Oh man. Yeah, so reality is that a lot of companies out there, their website was not properly optimized for search. So everybody is going crazy, cold calling, so many emails. It's so annoying. I tune people out. So sadly, a lot of salespeople, they're in a terrible situation. They're not going to get leads through the website because oftentimes the website is not optimized. So they have to do, the hard work, get on the phone, try to find, connect with people through cold calling, etc. And it's it's hard. I mean, I can, I feel sorry for a lot of salespeople out there because, a lot of companies don't have the money to invest right now. So it's probably tough times to be a salesperson, right? Yeah, I would love to hear maybe some feedback from some sales folks out there. What's the climate out there right now? What do you struggle with the most at the moment? And maybe I can offer some tips.
Right, we have a couple of questions. The first one, what is the best lead gen channel, do you think, during the lockdown?
The best lead gen channel?
The best lead gen channel, right.
Oh man, so it's, I would probably say if you have to do cold outreach, LinkedIn, because you're directly able to connect, do the search for the right title, demographic, etc. Unfortunately, I mean, I get so many requests and people reaching out to me at the moment. Many people suck at sending, good messages. If you do LinkedIn outreach, you got to make it hyper personal. Send them some content that you produced, your company produced, and say, hey, we're doing a webinar, or we're doing this or that. Are you interested? Or so I guess my answer is LinkedIn. And I wrote several articles for Social Media Examiner about LinkedIn, about that. So that probably be the best channel right now.
Cool. You know what? We have a huge focus on LinkedIn. Today and tomorrow, we talked, and we will be talking about the social selling in LinkedIn.
Nice.
To different points, as I mentioned to you before, that this will be the sales coach from London, Richard, and today we talk with our local expert in LinkedIn. So once again, this is proof that LinkedIn is the great channel to work with the clients, to nurture them and to convert them. Right, next question. What tools do you use for SEO, from Vlad?
Oh yeah, so I use SE Ranking. I think it's a company out of Ukraine. Awesome company. I have webinars that we did with them, so reach out if you'd like to see those. SEM Rush, I think also a Ukrainian company. Then Ahrefs. We use obviously Google Analytics, Google Search Console, SEM. Scoop. I mean, there's so many tools out there, but probably the ones that I mentioned earlier, they will do. If you need to get started with SEO, SE Ranking, SEM Rush, Ahrefs will do. Cool.
So next question is more like generic, but still, what are the key metrics in 2020? And probably I will add that 2021 is also could be mentioned in your answer.
Yeah. So the key metric, can you clarify that? Or is it like more globally?
Globally.
Okay. I mean, everything boils down to sales, right? So let me take a step back. As soon as the pandemic hit,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, we're not going to make any new sales. I mean, it was complete dead for 3 months. So we hosted a webinar every 2 weeks. We put all of our effort in creating content that people are searching for because we
Mm-hmm.
knew people are at home. They need to do something, right? They're going to educate themselves. So I think we pumped over 3 months, I think 1,200 people into our pipeline, people that attended our webinars, and now we're seeing the results, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the key metrics, lead generation and conversion. How many of those people actually convert to sales? And we are now so busy because of that effort. We're having a hard time, taking on new clients because we have a hard time finding people to help us. So it's lead generation and sales conversions. To me, that's the ultimate metric. How much sales are you making out of your leads?
Just to clarify, you are putting lead generation on the first place in front of sales, right? In front of conversion rates.
Yes. So again, I don't do sales. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically lead generation. For me, that's sales, right? I
Mm-hmm.
hate, I did cold calling. I'm just done with that. I just want to educate people through these webinars, online events, in-person events. And if they like me, if they think I can help them, I am, interested in talking with them about them becoming a customer. And it's working amazingly well. So I guess lead generation is my sales tool.
Mm-hmm. Right, cool. Here we have another SEO, more related to SEO question, and then to sales related questions. So from Alex, do you recommend to use drop domains to start new business web page in case of SEO?
So say it again. What are
To use drop domains to start new business web page.
I'm not sure if I completely understand the
Mm-hmm.
question. I would, if you have an existing website, add subfolders.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite sure if I can. Maybe Alex, if you can clarify that
Mm-hmm.
question real quick.
Yeah, cool. While Alex is clarifying, we have questions from Pavel. He is asking more about sales onboarding process. Do you have any type of sales onboarding in your company?
So I said again.
Sales onboarding process.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sorry. Great question.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, let me quickly get back to, I get it now, drop domain. No, so let me get back to that question. So drop domain is basically a website that an owner hasn't renewed. Google announced some time ago it's not a good practice. So I would probably start a new website unless it's a drop domain that is 100% in line with your line of business. Then it's probably okay, but there's so much baggage that may come with a drop domain. Domain that wasn't renewed in the past. So you got to be careful. I would start a new website, just start fresh. Then
Mm-hmm.
onboarding, yes, we do have an 8-page onboarding template that we make our customers fill out. That they're going to do the buyer persona profiles. They provide us with all the information that we need to know, because only then are we able to help them implement a meaningful SEO and content marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm. And another question from Pavel. Are you using call recording of salesperson, if there's any, and for further analysis? Do you know any automation tools that basically save you time on analyzing these calls?
Oh man, good question. I'm not a fan of automating things. I mean, we're like, a smaller business. I
Mm-hmm.
analyze the calls that I do. So, unfortunately, I don't have a good answer. Maybe some of the other presenters that talk. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Pavel, we can save this question for other presenters, especially tomorrow we'll have guys that are running 50-person sales department. And I definitely recommend you to be present tomorrow morning to work with the speaker who run this department, and he will answer this question as well.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
So that's it for today. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for joining us from the US side. Guys, you have the Chris contacts here in slides, and we will be sharing with them these contacts with you later. Right, so thanks once again, Chris. Probably, yes, that's time for you to move on with your day.
All right, cool. Thanks so much, guys. Again, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to chat. Any questions? All right, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to leave the meeting. Have an awesome online conference. Get as much information as you can, and do good lead generation and boost your sales.